Speaking of goodwill, would you like to talk about a good expansion?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
No. Only here to talk about bad expansions.
Right. Okay, well then we can't talk about this one then, unfortunately.
Yeah, so Midnight looks really goddamn good. It's kind of ridiculous.
That's not where I was going.
Oh, never mind. You're going somewhere else.
I was going ahead. I was going to Miss of Pandaria.
Damn.
But do you want to talk Midnight? Talk Midnight you want. Do you feel like Midnight?
What would you prefer?
Let's talk Midnight.
Okay. Well, the only reason I was going to say that is because it is next in our document, and your segue segued perfectly into it.
Yeah, that's the problem. It was either actually. That was my mistake.
Too well.
I played too good.
Obviously, we don't know yet, but it's shaping up to have things in its favor. Okay, so let's take a look at the
most important
ingredients.
Most important ingredient is the super good name. 100%.
Yeah, Midnight's a good name.
The least important is elves, who gives a shit.
Fucking knife ear scum. Rip the ears off, put them in a broth, eat.
There's
Delicious.
the void. Yes, exactly. So this is it's kind of like it looks to be with player housing being added, if it's in any shape or form good. With iconic locations remastered, written like a bullet point on the back of the box here, I feel like this is the potential to be the closest thing we'll have to a second Legion. Until, of course, the last Titan, which will be Legion 3. We'll have 2 Legions back to back, and we'll finally all be able to die happy.
Yeah.
No, but realistically, I think that like this we've got here, the ingredients for this are all insane. They're all crazy.
And this is actually the start of something new. So we are getting an expansion that is set in the Old World. Now, the expansion after this, Last Titan, is set in Northrend.
Asterisk, is it set in the Old World, or is it set on Avalorn, across the other side of Azeroth?
No, it's not.
Is it not?
What?
Okay.
Wait, is what? What the fuck are you talking about? They already announced the Last Titan set in Northrend, you madman.
Yeah, but...
Unless you mean a patch zone.
Yeah.
Unless you mean a patch zone, which you could.
Did they say that when Midnight launches we're going to Silverman City, or did they say we'll be in Silverman City in there? Because an expansion has 2 endings. Expansions have 2 endings, Michael.
What the fuck are you
Expansions end when they end at the start and when they end at the end.
Oh, yes.
They've got a 12.0 or a 12.3 or
Yes.
12.2, sorry, because we're in a 0.2 world now.
Well, what we do know is what 11.0 will be, which is
12.0.
12.0 will be remasters
Midnight.
of those zones.
12, it's midnight.
Oh, yeah, shit, of course. So, Ghostlands, Eversong, Silver Moon, Isle of Keldanas, Sunwell, basically those are getting remakes. They've already confirmed in interviews that those remakes will be substantially larger than their current versions. So, yeah, there's going to be a bit of weird map stitching at some point. Don't exactly know how they're going to handle that.
Well, excellently.
There we go, confirmed. But what's good there is a lot of the bits of Warcraft that we care about from back in the day, like them getting the full new zone treatment, but still being themselves. That is fundamentally really interesting to me.
They're new and fresh, but the same. The same essence, but in a new form.
I'm excited by the concept.
Yeah, I am as well.
Them
very, very
just
much so.
rebuilding Northrend, which is what the following expansion will be. That's also really cool.
Yeah, because
we've long talked about Azeroth revamp as a thing. The first time they went to do Azeroth revamp, the best they could do was blow up Azeroth, but still keep it being the same geometry, the same, Azeroth, right? Because they only had so much bandwidth. The idea of an old world revamp was always basically impossible because the quality bar of a modern zone is so high compared to the old ones. Now, the old ones, I'm not saying they're bad. Obviously, it's just a modern WoW zone is humongous. It kind of needs to be that big, though, because we've got mounts, we've got flying, right? And if it's going to be that big, well, it does actually need to have quite a lot of detail, especially if it's going to keep up with other video games that are out, right? So that means...
No, every zone could just be Tanaris.
Perfect.
Where it's like, what's this? What's in Tanaris? Up at the one edge, there's some trolls. There's gadgets on one edge, and a gate, and some pirates.
Put in some sand, called
yeah,
done.
Yeah.
So there's going to be no one expansion that just revamps the whole world. I think.
No, they
But
no
what we
chance.
would get
No chance.
is with the format that we see here, with Midnight, with Last Titan, they would be able to march through the world and actually rebuild the entire thing up to modern quality. And I think that's fundamentally exciting because you can only go to another island you've never heard of so many times before it gets boring.
That's why the other side is looming. The other side of Azeroth is looming big time because it's another continent. And that'll be very, very fun whenever they throw us over to that for a pat zone for a tease, so we get to get it built up before we go there ahead of time. Because it'd be really funny if it's like, Last Titan's over, we're going, fuck, there's nowhere else. Round the back of the side of it, go for the crack. Go for the crack. Now that Amontil's dead, the storm has dissipated. Actually, that would kind of rule. Fuck. Never mind. Never mind, anyway.
If you think about how big zones are, one thing they could do is you could have the core Old World remake actually just be the expansion after the Last Titan.
You could do.
There would be a way to do that, having them be seamless zones, because we don't need to have Northern Barrens, Southern Barrens, or whatever anymore. Right? If you just think about what the modern requirements for the game are,
Wouldn't even be the Barons.
like you can just have the Barrens be, one big zone. Even thinking about some of the places where there's multiple zones, like, Ashenvale, Spooky Felwood, a lot of those.
Felwood, Darkshore,
You could merge into
Hyjal,
one big
Ashara.
zone. You can merge those into one big zone, and the existing bits are still there, but it's just one big modern zone that sort of spans multiple of them because the game's just got different technical. Can just do different shit technically now than in the past. So that could be a way to reasonably do the Old World revamp as 14.0.
Mm-hmm.
And 14 minus 10 is 4, as in 2004, as in the year WoW came out with. So this is even a theory backed by numerology. The most precise science.
666. That's the only number I know.
I have read the cathedrals by Focanelli, and now I know everything.
What about 1111?
1111.
777.
Oh,
What
big.
about 711?
Great, you went from Skyrim to the July bombings.
I was thinking.
Whenever people
I
say
was
7-7 in the UK, that's what they mean.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about. What was I thinking about? I just immediately started thinking about 7-Eleven. It was like, convenience store, hell yeah. Anyway, yes. And 4.0 was Cataclysm, the first world revamp. Spot on, Pern.
Numerology, once again, its absolutely unimpeached perfect track record only continues.
He's lost his fucking mind. Anyway.
It was lost long ago.
That's true. So, the kind of point we're building here is that remake or world revamp aside, Midnight has all of the parts of what can make something genuinely excellent, and we're probably going to get
including a bit of humor, because we can call it WoW Mid. Which is
that'll
also
be
funny,
fun. Yeah,
and because it's funny, it'll work.
Yeah, or it'll just be nominative determinism, and it will actually be mid, and we'll be all like, "Fuck."
Oh, it's a twist in that. That's why they've done
And
it.
then the last Titan will be nominative determinism, and it'll be the last expansion because Xbox will shut them down.
Okay, I don't think we're going to get in a keynote presentation Holly making a joke about WoW Mid, but I think we might get Ian making a joke about WoW Mid.
Ian definitely would make a joke about it.
I can feel him making a joke about WoW Mid.
He's a funny boy these days. Like, he's a funny boy. He'll get that.
Dude's had the glow up.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
has,
beard
sure
suits him. He's looking sharp.
Yeah, it's like, what do you mean? The project I'm in charge of isn't actively on fire all that much anymore. Damn.
He's like, finally, I have support and allies.
Yeah, amazing.
I was just a boss designer. What have you made me do? Oh no.
Yeah, just Ian, would you like a promotion? Yes. Sure. What's my new position? Atlas. Okay, cool. Sure, no problem.
Okay, that's good.
No problem. Yeah.
Greek reference. God, that was good multiple levels.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
You got that big wrinkly brain.
I am, in fact, not as stupid as I pretend to be. Funny enough. Yeah, so I think the other part of this to talk about is probably the fact that it's the elves. People fucking love elves.
People love elves.
People love elves big time. Less so the night elves these days, which is great because they aren't involved that much.
Exactly. Finally, no more shite elves.
Yeah, it's going to be the good elves, which don't think about too deeply. But it's going to be all the Eastern elves, Eastern Kingdom elves. Going to be all the Varisa.
That's
and
it. All the elves that aren't woke tree huggers.
Yeah.
That's how.
Except for the fact they all were and descended from the tree huggers and remain tree huggers.
We've got the ones who went so hard on spooky magic that they got kicked out.
That's true. That's actually true. Yeah, that's true. We've also got the deep elves, which I'm mostly excited for. Yeah, deep elves, the Naga.
Whoa.
I'm really excited for how they actually make that, how they bring that into the story in a meaningful capacity.
Perhaps. Karesh?
But the ethereals aren't elves.
I know they're not. But they've also, like Blizzard has said, this is the big Void versus Light expansion.
Yeah, which is where we're going to have the Void.
I actually think the Arathi are going to be here too. Just given the
it's frustrating, right?
I could see the Arathi being a patch.
It's frustrating because the Arathi have an empire on the other side of the fucking world.
Yeah, I could see I could see their armada arriving and that being a banger patch.
Yeah, and that'd be frustrating because I want to go there.
We'll go there afterward.
Yeah, but then it'll be 2030 and I'll be fucking ancient. Anyway.
Anyway. Look, we got to find a new source of male vitality plus now that the Onion have purchased InfoWars and we can no longer access our delicious healthy supplements.
Speak for yourself. Anyway, yeah, I think I've got sources, and I think okay, good man, Chris. Good man, Chris, keeping us going. So just proper name drop there. Like.
Chances of anyone getting that reference are
literally
zero.
Like literally zero. So. Forget Arathi when Urel. Sorry, bad news. The Arathi have replaced Urel, and I will not accept any ideas to the contrary. Just because I feel like the Arathi clearly fit we're the light mentalists, not in the.
But what about everyone? But what about getting clumped? What about the hooves? What about big hoovers?
There's
big hoovers.
There's a subreddit for that. We don't need it in the game. We're okay. We're good. We'll get by. So, I think the Arathi are going to replace the Light Forged or the Light Bound Nero in that regard. I imagine so. But we do have the Void to contend with, which gives us all of the same good shit we got from Argus, from Legion, which is we are invaded from the outside, which is nuts. Like, you could see the Void invasion, the Arathi invasion, and it always feels like whenever there's huge movement like that, it kind of works. It always feels big, it feels good, it feels strong. That's why Legion worked. It's why Wrath worked so well, because we were invading the continent and fighting all over the place against a specific unified force. And that being there is, I think, that's going to work exceptionally well, especially for...
We either need to be the neocons or fight the neocons.
Yeah.
That's what Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and World of Warcraft expansions teach me.
Perfect, yeah. So, I think the thing we're talking about is like Midnight has everything to be an immense expansion. And the vibes are there. The vibes are there that the War Within is still tripping up in places. Big improvements from Dragonflight, which in turn was substantial improvement from Shadowlands.
Yeah.
But it feels like now you kind of have the momentum is building towards, okay, the War Within is the last case of the last like training arc before we get to really pull out all the stops, especially as they're looking at like the things that are going wrong here and things that are right. And also player housing is 3 exclamation marks in a document, because it's really hard to explain how huge that really is for the expansion.
If
for a box feature,
the scale they sort of are suggesting.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, look, we haven't really got traditional box features in WoW for a long time. In a way.
The one we did have was dragon riding, and that was a question mark at best until we were hands-on. Player housing is the one people go, I can have a house in World of Warcraft? I haven't played since Wrath. Let me in.
Yeah, that's something that will get cut through in other places. Because if you tell someone who hasn't touched WoW since Wrath that there's delves, they're like, what the fuck's a delve? I don't know. Like, we might care about a delve because we know what modern WoW is. But something like player housing, that is, I suppose, truly expansionary in a way that will get broad cut through in a generalized audience. I believe their quote was that they've had 254 million WoW accounts. So whenever you're doing delves, you're not targeting 254 million WoW accounts with delves. That's not going to get them back. If you do something like player housing, or an old world revamp, or a this is the Sunwell, but it's all revamped, that's what can start to tap in to the larger, base of accounts. Also a fun thing, by the way, for a bit of a yardstick. That number was 100 million in 2014.
Damn, so they've got...
Because Warlords of Draenor's infographic. They released an infographic at that point. It was 100 million. So they've gained 154 million from then to now.
That's a lot of bot accounts. Damn.
That's it. Definitely, yeah, all fake.
Yeah, no, real people aren't... We're not even real.
Of course not.
You're lucky if you're real, to be honest with you. If you're real, I'd be surprised. You're probably just a bot too.
Oh, no. So the way it works is they're real. But as soon as they stop watching the stream, we disappear. Because the simulation's only crafted us and all the other viewers to keep them entertained.
That's why my favourite part of stream is when we click end stream and cease to be.
Oh no! It's like Severance, but we don't have an outie and we only exist during the stream.
Yeah.
We have invented the Torment Nexus.
Yeah. That's why in order to get any progress in video games, we can talk about them, we actually play under the thing with our feet here. I'm actually raiding right now, just, have a mirror on my lap looking at my computer.